Hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Woo Can Cook. My name is Wesley, and this is a show where we are slowly cooking our way through all of the food from my childhood. Today we're diving back into our series dedicated to TV and film with yet another addition to our growing collection of fried chicken recipes inspired by the Korean soy garlic fried chicken from All of Us Are Dead.
잘 먹겠습니다.
Okay, so as you might have noticed, our soon-to-be zombie high school kids are eating two different types of Korean fried chicken, or colloquially KFC, both of which are very popular in Korea as well as here in the States. The first, more bright red plate is a nyeum chicken, iconically glazed with a Korean gochujang chili paste, and for those looking, we also did a version of this dish on the channel a few months back here. So, this means that for our attempts today, we'll be taking a look at the second plate of chicken, which is an equally popular dakgangjeong, or soy garlic fried chicken. For those unfamiliar, this would be a Korean sweet and savory fried chicken that employs the use of soy sauce, garlic, and honey to create its simultaneously sticky, sweet, and savory qualities. To pair with this, we'll also be using one of my very favorite dry batters that make use of some cornstarch, potato starch, and baking soda to create the iconically extra crispy fried chicken wings that KFC is known for. Okay, so let's get into it.
Everybody's got to go up. Sometimes funny how we shoot the move. Still, will we fight it, baby? Alright, never mind.
Okay, so kicking things off here first, we're starting off with our aromatic veggies today. This is going to be 4 cloves of crushed and minced garlic to start, followed by 1 inch or about 1 tablespoon of fine minced ginger, and the whites of 3 green onions sliced up thinly. And yes, I am aware that this is technically called soy garlic chicken, not soy garlic ginger onion chicken, but I promise you that these are absolutely the holy trinity of aromatics in Asian cooking, and all 3 absolutely belong in our glaze today. Finally, I'm taking these reserved greens of our green onions, then slicing them up thinly on a bias and setting them aside for our final finishing garnish later on. Moving right along to our glaze next, because as with most fried chickens, that's actually it for our veggies today. Not a lot of vegetables typically found in fried chicken, as you can imagine. Now, by requirement, our glaze here must include both soy sauce and honey, which is going to be the foundation of our contradictory sweet and savory glaze. To pair with this though, today we're going to be working on building out a little bit more acidity and brightness, as well as some more complex sweetness here to really elevate our glaze. So, up first, as promised, this is going to be 4 tablespoons each of soy sauce and honey to kick things off. Then next, for some brightness, we're going to go with 2 tablespoons each of rice vinegar and mirin, followed finally by 4 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup of sweet chili sauce to round everything out. I love pairing sweet chili sauce with honey and or brown sugar any chance that I can get, because it's going to help us lean into the sweetness of our glaze while also giving us some brightness and umami as well, which I love. Next up, moving on to our batter here. Now, I've done a few different variations on the batter that we're going to be using today, but the gist of what we're going for today is a light and thin batter that will coat our chicken without becoming overly bready. We're going to achieve this today by using a combination of starches that are a little bit lighter than your more standard AP flour, which of course contains gluten, which in turn yields a more chewy batter. So, going into my mixing bowl here first is a 1/2 cup each of cornstarch and potato starch. Rounding this out, this is a 1/2 teaspoon of both baking soda and dashi powder that we're mixing in to combine. Just like with baking, that baking soda is going to activate when in contact with heat to give us a nice crunch to our chicken. Finally, here's my chicken going in. This is about 2 dozen wings that I'm using today. We're tossing this all to combine, then heading over to the stove. Over on the stove, I have my fryer heating up to 350 degrees F. We're gonna do a double fry today for an extra crisp to our chicken. This is gonna be more or less a requirement with KFC. I personally think though that this might be a little bit unnecessary for our dry batter today, but we'll get to that in a moment. I'm adding in my chicken here about 10 to 12 pieces at a time, then frying briefly for about 2 minutes until lightly golden before removing to a dry rack. These will almost certainly still be raw inside at this point, which is absolutely okay. We're mainly just looking to cook off some moisture in our chicken in this initial par fry. I'm giving these about 5 minutes to cool on the dry rack while our fryer reheats, then returning back to the wok for their second and final fry until golden brown and 165 degrees F internal. Now, hypothetically, since we've burnt off all of that moisture in the initial fry, this allows the fryer to stay more consistently hotter on the second fry, yielding a crispier piece of chicken. Realistically though, personally I think that this double fry method adds about 20 to 30% more time to your cook time today, since you'll be spending a lot of time removing and reheating stuff here. So personally for me, for dry batters like the one we're using today, where there isn't a lot of moisture present in the first place, I actually think that it's acceptable to just go ahead with a single fry and save your double fries for wetter batters like buttermilk or tempura chicken. Of course, if you've got the time though, it never hurts to double fry. In any case, once our chicken is nice and crispy, I'm letting it cool on a dry rack for a moment while we get to our glaze here next. I've removed my fryer oil, then reheated the wok over medium heat, added 4 tablespoons of peanut oil, and as always, long yao for that nice non-stick surface. Then going in here first are my aromatic veggies. Here's my garlic, ginger, and the whites of my green onions going in for 15 seconds until nice and fragrant. Then I'm following this up with my glaze mixture next, plus about a 1/4 cup of water to keep those sugars from burning initially. I'm rounding this out with a handful of dried Tianjin peppers for a little bit of aromatic heat. Then we're letting this simmer with constant agitation for about 5 minutes until a thick and syrupy glaze is achieved, like so. Finally, we're killing the heat, then adding our chicken and giving a quick toss to coat. As always with fried chicken, remember that your glaze must be fully reduced at this point when you add your chicken back to the wok, because if you catch yourself trying to reduce that glaze while the chicken is in the wok, you're gonna end up boiling that chicken instead, and you'll have some soggy fried chicken on your hands, which nobody likes. Last up, I'm finishing this all off with the greens of my green onions, plus a quick tutorial on how to eat chicken wings. If you're not removing this tiny bone before eating your wings, you're doing it wrong, and we're ready to eat. Okay, so those following along with this channel will know that this is something like the 30 millionth fried chicken recipe that we've assembled now, and I have absolutely no intention of stopping because I love fried chicken. Aside from being very delicious, I just find it really interesting how fried chicken transcends into so many different Asian food cultures, most of the time as a result of some form of American influence, which is really neat. In any case though, our soy garlic chicken here is bright and sweet without being overwhelmingly sugary, as is often my gripe with glazed wings like this one. I think that a lot of this has to do with the inclusion of sweet chili sauce in lieu of just more honey or more sugar, yielding a more complex sweetness to our chicken. Then the contrast of our savory soy sauce and aromatic veggies help to create a more umami-forward glaze as well. Finally, to round this all out, I think that the light dry batter pairing with our chicken gives us a crispy wing with little to no chew to it, quite the opposite of what you would achieve with your AP flour-based chicken batters. The last bit that I'll mention here is that I also very intentionally did not include many heat elements in our wings today, which I think makes for a nice contrast to the gochujang fried chicken wings that these are often paired with. Okay, so that's it everyone. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you give this one a shot. For those who are new to the channel, this one is part of a larger series dedicated to foods from TV and film, so definitely check out that series next if you haven't yet, because there's a lot of these. For the Bay Area locals, the Woo Can Cook Fried Rice Pop-Up is now at Wonders Brewing every Thursday through Sunday, so come by and say hi then if you can. More about that at woocancook.com/eats. Also, in case you missed it, we've got t-shirts. I'm super excited to be partnering with my good friends at Polywog Prints to make these super sweet Woo Can Cook shirts. They're super soft and comfortable and also have a picture of me on the back, which is crazy. We're selling these at the Woo Can Cook pop-up, or you can head over to woocancook.com/shop to grab one from the online store too. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, be nice interneters, and I'll see you soon. Bye.